Have you ever stepped back and let karma handle your entitled family? I put my heart and soul into every family gathering, spending weeks prepping the house and hours in the kitchen cooking everything from scratch. And nobody in my family ever wanted to help out. They just show up empty-handed, sit down, and start eating before I even got to the table, and complain the entire time, this needs more salt. The turkey was juicier last year. McDonald's would have been better. But for the sake of family, I kept my mouth shut and let it go. But last Thanksgiving was different. I went all out, making the perfect full spread. Herb-crusted turkey, homemade cranberry sauce, 3 different sides, and a pumpkin cheesecake I'd been perfecting for months. I was super excited for them to try it, but when I got to the table, they all gave a weird look. It's a little fancy, don't you think? My aunt asked after taking just one bite. My uncle laughed. She's always got to show off in front of the family. I frowned and said, I worked really hard on this. A little kindness would be nice. But my cousin rolled her eyes and said the thing that broke me. You only make it fancy to make us feel poor. Stop being so pretentious. I felt like I'd been slapped. 12 years of love and effort, and they thought I was pretending to do something good for everyone. So I made a decision right then. I was done with family gatherings, done with their lack of appreciation, just done. After that dinner, I told them I wasn't hosting anything anymore for the family. No more planning, no more paying, no more cooking. If they wanted family gatherings, they could figure it out themselves. They all laughed and waved me off. Fine, my aunt said. We don't need your fancy food anyway. You can apologize later when you realize how dramatic you're being. But it ended up going exactly how I expected it. The next gathering was a small birthday party for my grandparents. The moment I walked into their house, I knew it was bad. I could smell the smoke before I even made it through the front door. Inside, my aunt was rushing past me, fanning the air with a dish towel while my cousins screamed at each other from the kitchen. I told you to watch the oven, you dumb beach. Well, I was setting the table, you stupid. The smoke alarm started blaring and someone yanked it straight off the ceiling just to shut it up. My grandma paced around the room telling each person just as hungry she was. When the food finally came out, it was a disaster. The chicken was pink in the middle. The vegetables had turned to gray mush. 3 different people had brought mashed potatoes, and somehow all 3 tasted like wallpaper paste. It was so awful. I wanted to actually jump in and fix everything, but I didn't. All right, that's enough, my uncle yelled out. Everyone, outside, now. We followed him out and watched him uncover an old, rusty grill. Let's do some good old-fashioned barbecue, just like when we were kids, he said. He nervously started it up and grinned when it started running. The other uncles started loading it up with burgers and hot dogs, patting each other on the back proudly. But I noticed they had poured too much lighter fluid on the coals. Maybe let that burn down a bit before adding the meat, I said. My uncle just smirked. We got this, princess. Why don't you go sit down and relax for once, he said in a mocking tone. I shook my head. No, I'm sorry, but this is actually dangerous, I told him. I grabbed one of the tongs from one of my uncles and started pulling off a few of the patties. My uncle grabbed it from my hand and pushed me to the side. See? I knew it. You couldn't help but do something to make us feel less than you, he snapped. Just then, the grease from all the meat had flared up and caught the paper streamers hanging off the patio. Fire! My cousin yelled. My uncle and I turned to look and saw flames already jumping to the wooden fence, then to the side of the house. Within seconds, the entire back wall was burning and everyone was running and screaming. By the time the fire department came, half of my grandparents' house was completely destroyed. I sat on the sidewalk staring at the house when my uncle stormed over. Come on, say it, he shouted. Tell us how wrong we were, how much better you are than all of us. Say it. Something in me snapped. You know what? I laughed. Maybe I am better. Not because I make more money or because I know how to cook, but because I'm an actual nice person who wanted to share it all with you without asking for a single thing back. And I'm definitely not the type of person who'd scream at someone after a mistake they made. I looked him dead in the eyes. So just once, act like an adult, take some responsibility, and leave me alone. Everyone went quiet. My uncle opened his mouth to say something, but the rest of the family just shook their heads at him. One of my aunts told him to stop. He walked away without another word. My grandparents had to move in with my aunt while repairs dragged on for months. Insurance covered some of it, but not nearly enough. The whole family had to pool their money to cover the rest. Everyone except me. Funny enough, I got a group text last week asking if I'd be willing to host Christmas this year. We'll bring whatever you need, my aunt wrote. Christmas? I asked. You guys know I'm Jewish?